At 2 a.m., Caracas slept. The night seemed ordinary, but in less than an hour, fire would streak the sky, explosions would shake the city, and history would be rewritten forever. No one knew that tonight, a city would burn, leaders would fall, and the world would gasp in disbelief. The streets of Caracas were quiet, but tension hung like a storm cloud. A tension that had been building for years. Hyperinflation made even bread a luxury. Power cuts were constant. Daily protests filled the streets. Venezuela's economy teetered on collapse. Society was frayed, and fear ruled the day. For millions, life was already a battlefield, but what was coming would make survival a desperate fight. President Nicolás Maduro's government held power with charisma and iron-fisted authority. Human rights abuses were reported worldwide. Corruption whispered in every corner, and links to narcotics trafficking further isolated the nation. The world had its eyes on Venezuela, but no one could have predicted how fast everything would unravel. Soldiers patrolled armored vehicles, checkpoints lined the streets, cameras and drones hovered silently. Survival required caution, awareness, and sometimes sheer luck. Every shadow could be danger. Every move could be the difference between life and death. On this night, the tension was about to explode, because what was coming wasn't rumor, it was a storm, engineered with surgical precision. Inside Caracas, civilians slept unaware of the events orchestrated thousands of miles away. Journalists monitored news feeds. Security forces were alert but unprepared for what was coming. Nobody expected the ground to shake beneath them, or the skies to rain destruction. At the Miraflores presidential compound, Maduro and Cilia Flores reviewed the day's security briefing. They trusted their fortifications, their loyal guards, and radar coverage. Confidence, however, would prove dangerously misplaced. They believed themselves untouchable until the first blast shattered that illusion. Across the Atlantic, U.S. officials, generals, and intelligence officers had planned for months. Contingency plans multiplied. Maps, satellite imagery, and drone reconnaissance were studied obsessively. The U.S. decided enough was enough. Maduro's regime posed a direct threat and had to be removed, surgically, swiftly, decisively. A decision had been made to strike at the heart of power, and no one could stop it. The world seemed calm that night, but history doesn't announce itself. The first sound would be explosions, and when those explosions came, the city and the world would never be the same. When the first blasts shook Caracas, the scale was unimaginable. Jets screamed overhead. Drones buzzed through the sky. Explosions erupted. What many thought were isolated attacks was only the beginning. Operation Absolute Resolve had begun. Chaos reigned from above, and no one knew who would survive the night. The first explosion hit a military radar station outside Caracas. Buildings shook. Glass shattered. Citizens bolted upright. Terror etched on their faces. Dogs barked. Sirens wailed. One man stumbled barefoot into the street, staring at streaking tracer fire. From ordinary life to battlefield chaos in seconds, the city was under siege. Hundreds of miles above, U.S. reconnaissance satellites tracked every move of Venezuelan air defenses. Analysts confirmed precision strikes. Targets, communication towers, radar arrays, anti-aircraft emplacements were neutralized. Every move was anticipated. Every countermeasure outmaneuvered. The operation unfolded with chilling efficiency. F-35 streaked over Caracas, dropping precision bombs. Drone swarms scanned streets. B-2 stealth bombers circled above. Jet engines roared. Explosions echoed off concrete and brick. The sky had become a war zone, and no one was safe from its fury. Civilians peered through windows, gathered on rooftops. Some screamed, some prayed, some filmed the surreal chaos. Helicopters swooped low, searchlights cutting through smoke and debris. Terror and confusion reigned. When the city looked up, the sky answered with fire. Maduro's loyal soldiers scrambled. Radios crackled. Airstrike detected. Defend the radar arrays. Every step was anticipated. Every countermeasure neutralized. Precision and chaos intertwined. Even the trained and the loyal couldn't stop the inevitable. Civilians ran into the streets. Vehicles stalled. Fires spread. Chaos defined these first hours. The line between survival and destruction blurred in every neighborhood. Shadows moved silently on the ground. Elite soldiers descended into Caracas. Their mission: capture the president. Nothing would stop them. Death, strategy, and courage collided in the darkness of night. Helicopters descended on the Miraflores compound. Delta Force operators moved in silence. Flashbangs disoriented defenders. Precision rifle fire neutralized threats. Drones guided every move. The fortress, believed impregnable, would fall in minutes. Maduro and Flores were awakened by the roar of explosions and the sound of boots. Within 30 minutes, resistance ended. They were handcuffed, escorted to armored vehicles, faces marked by shock and disbelief. The unthinkable had happened. The leaders were gone. The city continued to burn. Explosions punctuated the darkness. Civilians ran for cover. Helicopters whisked the captives to extraction points. Jets maintained air superiority. U.S. officials watched in tense relief thousands of miles away. By 4:30 a.m., headlines read, "Venezuela's president captured overnight in U.S. strike." Behind the news were thousands of stories of fear, courage, and chaos that no report could fully capture. History doesn't wait. Tonight, it raced through Caracas like wildfire. As daylight touched Caracas, a new reality emerged. A president was removed, every capital noticed, and the streets buzzed with uncertainty. Power was gone, and a nation wondered who would lead next. Delcy Rodriguez was declared interim president. Curfews were imposed. Military patrols increased. Citizens moved cautiously. The removal of Maduro could bring relief or more chaos. In the streets, hope and fear danced together, and no one knew which would survive. Maduro and Flores faced Manhattan federal court under heavy security. Charges: narco-terrorism, cocaine trafficking, corruption. Evidence was overwhelming. The trial became a global spectacle. Even across oceans, the world watched in disbelief. A sitting president on trial abroad. Governments recalculated. Oil markets fluctuated. Trade corridors faced uncertainty. Authoritarian regimes noted the precedent. Citizens in Venezuela felt relief, fear, and uncertainty. A single night had rewritten the rules of power. Operation Absolute Resolve achieved its objectives. Leaders removed. Justice pursued, but ramifications extended far beyond one mission. Sovereignty versus security. Intervention versus diplomacy. Morality versus pragmatism. The world learned that no one, not even a president, was untouchable. For Venezuela, the future remained uncertain. Interim leadership faced monumental tasks. For the U.S., it demonstrated precision and capability. For the world, it became a study in modern warfare and intelligence operations. For the citizens of Caracas, January 3rd, 2026, would be remembered forever. The night the sky exploded, the leaders fell, and history was rewritten in hours.